Well, let us we'll bring you that particular report in just a little bit as we fix those issues. We go to Edward Kabasa, who is in Nyanza region. Let's listen in on that.
Good morning. You are watching live pictures from Kisumu County. The Nyanza Investment Conference is underway. It did kick-start a couple of hours ago. And the highlight of this conference, of course, will be tomorrow, where President William Ruto is expected to give a speech. There will be other speeches from notable people. The idea is to drive as much investment as possible to the Nyanza region. At the heart of this engagement is the Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of performance delivery, Eliud Owalo. He did give his inaugural address this morning. A little bit later, we'll be talking to him. But right now, I am joined by Monimo Hawk. He's the Chief Executive Officer, Debate Real Estate. This is one of the most recognized real estate companies in Dubai, and of course he's in Kenya, taking part in this investment conference. Welcome to KBC.
Thank you.
What is that business opportunity that Debate has identified in this region?
Thank you very much for asking this question. Well, as you know, Dubai has been one of the most popular destinations globally for a lot of investors, and based on the fact that they've set a tone for wonderful, the quality and visionary leadership. They have been there, set there for numbers of years and decades. So that sets all the pulse and bring all the attentions from the world to Dubai, to people from all classes to invest into Dubai, into real estate, which is the real game, I always say. And what you see, Dubai has been trusted by most of the nations. I would say more than 185 countries and nationals invested into Dubai. And of course, based on their leadership quality and the visionary set they have overachieved their target, what they had in 2020. And it is expected that by 2030, they're going to they're already overwhelmed with the target they have in terms of developments. And you can see the skyline of Dubai, it keeps changing every day. So I would say, look, Dubai is the place for people to consider as a global investment hub. And you can operate your business, you can secure golden visa for 10 years, which is like permanent residency, unlike European destinations or West, I would say, as a whole. So there are genuine opportunities from Dubai. And of course, we as one of the major real estate companies in Dubai, we can help investors or even young people to start up, with the visions they have. And Dubai has been very friendly towards the young, talented people to accuse it and give them the platform to explore further. And I can see the same opportunity here as well. To be honest, once I landed, I feel like it's a land of opportunity. I don't know why things are not moving forward and fast.
And perhaps that's the reason as to why this investment conference has been set up in the first place. Africa has the resources, it has the people, it has the land, and it has everything to thrive globally.
Right.
What are some of the opportunities that you feel are yet to be harnessed to ensure that Africa competes with the likes of Dubai and Singapore?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned Singapore and Dubai. It's been an example to the world anyway. Now, I think, look, no matter what we talk about, it's the visionary. You need to know how to think big. You need to know how to think out of the boxes. And you need to know how to actually navigate the youngs, the patrons. And I think this could be a game changer for any nation. So if you know how to invest into young people, a lot of the government, I have been running road shows, exhibitions all over the world, and what I see, a lot of investment, government investment, or even private sector's investment, don't always target the youngs. You need to target the youngs so that you have a strong pipeline coming in the future. And that patriotic attitude has to be coming from them too. Like, you need to know how to love your country. And the way you do it, it's like give and take. If you take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. That's how the world is probably still surviving. So I would say, number one, pay more attention to the young and let them grow up with the entrepreneur, mindset. Not just jobs or, very limited income. Show them the prospect of how to navigate to an uncapped income. I have seen a lot of talented people, and I have some staff members from here as well. So I see the talents are everywhere in this land, and immense of opportunities are there too. So talents, young talents, you need to nurture them. You need to set the vision for them so that they can think further. And if if you cannot think, you can hardly achieve anything.
So how do you make investment attractive for young people?
Well, to be honest, tourism. I think what Dubai has done, look, Dubai didn't have anything apart from real estate, tourism, and they have this Port Jebel Ali carrying a lot of responsibilities of the trading hub they have made, they've become very known for in the world. So I would say tourism could be one of the important things. This land is so beautiful. Why don't you make it appealing to West and bring investment to the country? I think this is one of the very baseline to start with. And obviously, and educate people towards tourism and how to, get into small investment, bring from overseas. And then once you have tourism, obviously that's going to lay out, set the tone for investment coming out of the country. If I don't know your country, how would I invest? I need to know the people, I need to know the culture.
How do you integrate technology with what we are seeing today? There is, artificial intelligence, which is making life very easy for humanity. Mm-hmm. How do you integrate it with the engagement that we are having here?
Of course, look, there's no doubt the world has been standing in parallel to the development we see, whatever, let it be real estate, let it be health facilities, any industry you can name. The involvement of technology and the way the technology also evolving, the world, me and you sitting here, talking live with a certain audience, addressing everyone who's watching us, you can see the difference it can make and the impact it carries. So technology has to be prioritized, and the young people has to be connected to that very, let it be AI or any other changes probably. You never know what's coming next. So you got to have a plan ad hoc to adapt with that. Look at the countries like Dubai, for example. I'm going to give an example for Dubai because you see any new technology, somehow they capture it first. Because they know they invest onto those. They're open to the world in terms of innovation, technology. These are the pillars. These are the little key things you have to prioritize and set the priority on high. Technology, educating your young people. I use this word young again and again just because I know what impact it can carry in the future. If youngs are educated, I would say navigated properly towards technological evolvements or whatever the developments coming in the future as well, it can change the whole game.
We have seen countries like China build new cities, for example. Egypt is also working on a mega project.
Right.
Do you think that perhaps Sub-Saharan Africa should also be thinking towards that direction, that the time has come perhaps to build new cities, to expand opportunities not just for young people but to everyone, make Africa a global village?
Absolutely. I mean, the opportunities, the potentials these beautiful land carries, it's abundant. I don't see anything impossible based on the fact that I know the talented people are there, the amount of talented people are coming from this zone. And all we need to know is just how to navigate it, how to direct it, and bring them together, and then
You are in the real estate business. The Kenyan government has a project called affordable housing, where houses which are occupied by the so-called group of people who have been historically marginalized in terms of owning.
Right.
Concerned. This model, where the public contributes money to that kind of a project, how big can it get? Is it something that can go beyond our borders?
I would say technically yes, but again, you got to understand the difference between private sector development and government development. And what we're talking about is public housing, correct? If I'm not. The best way is to come out with a plan which is parallel to government planning and the private sector development. You cannot stop private sector development. Investment has to come to your country, and then government will definitely find a way to use the money flow so that they can also parallelly develop, so that there's no monopoly in the market. So certain control would be there as well. And I personally think the development should be open both private sectors and then also for the public sectors. Now, if government doesn't have enough money for housing, and you mentioned that marginalized people, like people, minorities or whoever, need the housing facilities mostly, how can they reach them if they don't have enough funding, for example? And how can a government have enough funding towards that? That is also important to understand and work it out. So I see, bring investment, do the private development, and get a cut. Set your tone, set your target, and help people who need housing support from the government. But government cannot, I believe, no government can actually make it public, open to everything and offer housing facilities to everyone. I don't think it hardly makes sense, to be honest. So I think the planning should be running it parallelly. The private sector, bring investments, even encourage people who are wealthy in this country, for example, and let them, and also one more important thing that I must mention, you need to be open as an economy. You need to be open to an extent where the foreigners, for example, I'm from UK, so I should feel that safe, I should feel that secure, I should feel that it's a country welcoming me to invest, and I can have a quick exit as well. So these are the things that you have to set as a whole package for any investor or any foreign investors who come and invest to any countries. So I think a little attention sometimes bring a huge difference.
Right. Now that you've brought up that environment that makes business thrive,
right?
What would you say has been the biggest problem, especially for Africa? I know that Africa has its own issues politically speaking.
Right, of course, yeah.
But how do they make this environment conducive for investment? That we can have our political differences, but business should be allowed to continue.
Right. I think obviously the political, I'm not going to go to politics, but again, as far as I understand, any government, whether political or whatever government we can think in Africa or wherever, it's a mindset. If you genuinely want to develop, for me, I think personally, because I'm not government, so for me, I'll be little careful selecting words, to be honest, because for me, impossible is nothing. It doesn't exist. Once you are blessed with so many young and talented people around you, all you need to know is how to use them, how to bring revenue from all over the world if I'm not blessed enough naturally. So how to acquire and make the best use of them and create that, young patrons, young lads coming forward, coming together and have an impact in the economy and contribute directly. Once I say directly, meaning you need to take care of them first, and then you need to find a way to use them at the same time. A lot of countries I see, you create a platform for youngs, but you don't give right opportunities to them to flourish. So what they will do, let's say I have invested into young patrons as a government. Now I'm an investor as a government. I need to make sure I set the right opportunities for them too, so that they don't fly. And which is the most common problem we have coming from a developing country or underdeveloped country. So you need to stop flow of brain drain. That's something you need to, as a government, I would say, need to be very careful. There's no point of me investing into youngs if I can't hold on to them. And I need to invest onto people who are going to lead the country in the future. The way I see, the best leaders are the leaders who create leaders.
Okay. Now, what's the simplest way of getting into the real estate? Let's start with the simplest and the most complex. I know the most complex probably is, it involves a lot of capital.
Can-do spirit. If you know that look, I'm a visionary people, so I may sound very different, to be honest, but to me, know yourself first, but try thinking out of the box. If you go stereotype, it's not going to help you. It will never help you. But if you just think a little out of the box, probably small, start something very minimum, start something very small.
How small are we talking about?
Well, if it's Dubai context we're talking about, for example...
The African context.
Yeah.
Probably I have a piece of land.
Yeah.
Probably an acre.
Right.
What can I put on an acre? Let's say this 1 acre is probably next to a city.
Right. Okay, so if it's a suburb, for example, where the potentials are there, I don't know the area, so I'll be blind. So,
let's use Kisumu.
Yeah, well, Kisumu is an amazing place, by the way. At the moment I landed in Kisumu airport, me and my colleagues and staff all around were saying, wow, it's beautiful. Now, as soon as I get out of the airport, I see a different scenario. Okay? Now, the potentials are very much there. And conferences like these and exhibitions like this would definitely create more attention. And I think it can work in favor of those. But coming back to the question again, in context of development, look, the development cost in Dubai or UK or anywhere else and development cost in Kenya, I think Kenya would be in a far better position because of the human resources and the cost effectiveness of the easy access to the big labor market you need, workforce. I think they're in a slightly advantageous scenario. But again, I'll have to work out exactly what I have to have the numbers in front to give you the exact figures. But again, I think if it's a private development, I would say a couple of $1 million for any foreign investors to just park and make the development look like a development. But you can start with even $500,000. But who knows? It depends on what opportunity what scalability is going to carry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Towards the CEO, Debate Real Estate. His name is Momenu Hogg. You are watching live pictures from Kisumu County, where the Nyanza Investment Conference has gotten underway. A lot of activity is happening within the main plenary, and now I will hand you over. We'll be speaking to the former Cabinet Secretary for ICT a little bit later. And remember, tomorrow is the big day, the official opening, where the President is expected here, as well as Africa's candidate for the African Union Commission chairmanship, Raila Amolo Odinga. My name is Edward Kabasa. Back to you.
Chapter in Nyanza's transformation agenda. And in that regard, I'd like to thank my dear friend Owalo and his team for initiating this idea and discussing with the Lake Region Economic Bloc so that it can be held. When you came to see me, I told him that this investment conference could better be held within the framework of Lake Region Economic Bloc, because we already have an institution that brings Nyanza governors together, Nyanza people together under Lake Region Economic Bloc, which already, as you know, the chief executive is here, Victor Nyagaya, and I'm the chair, has helped us a lot to coordinate activities in the Lake region. I must acknowledge that the choice of Kisumu for this investment conference by the organizers was well thought out, this being the first investment conference for the region. And Kisumu really, historically, and otherwise has become the hub of trade, innovation, and opportunity, and is the center of the region connecting all the counties in Nyanza. To the organizers, we say asante sana and karibuni sana Kisumu. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this conference is a testament to our shared vision of transforming Nyanza into a thriving investment destination with vast potential in agriculture, blue economy, infrastructure, tourism, and marketing and manufacturing. Our region stands ready for strategic partnerships that will drive economic growth and create sustainable livelihoods. Our counties are the focal points for development, and development being local, we must start at the lowest levels, ensuring that devolved functions are adequately implemented for the benefit of our people and overall development of our region. Fortunately, the Constitution gives devolved government some very fundamental roles in development. Agriculture, for example, water and land, not to mention housing and human development in terms of early childhood education centers, which is the foundation of education in any society. Kisumu is open to business, and as a county, we are committed to fostering an enabling environment for investors through progressive policies, infrastructure development, and a skilled workforce. We believe that through collaboration, communities and accelerate our journey towards prosperity. As you engage in discussions over the next few days, I encourage you to explore, connect, and seize these possibilities that Nyanza has to offer. Let this conference mark the beginning of fruitful partnerships that will shape the future of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that we can only, through decentralized cooperation, the development of this region heavily depends on how well we can come together and form a united front for development. Once I was in a room somewhere, and I saw a big sign on the wall, "To come is wonderful, to come together is divine." Countries like Morocco, which are also here in Africa, have thrived on decentralized cooperation, and it's important for us to borrow a leaf from them and emulate how they succeed through partnerships and cooperation. The journey we have set out to do today is one that is set to change our region, but only with dedication. Let us work closely with relevant national government agencies, local and national private sector corporations, including private sector associations and organizations, to change the course of this region. Let us work together with international organizations that are interested in development, especially in the face of a reactionary move by the American president called Trump to withdraw economic cooperation with developing countries through institutions that are proved useful, like the World Health Organization and their own institution, USAID. But we in Africa don't want to cry over spilled milk. We must be innovative and cover the areas that institutions were helping without crying foul. I believe we can do it. One will do it for us. No one will do it for us. We must rise up for our people. And as I close, allow me to leave you with the words of Nelson Mandela. And I quote, "Do not," and I repeat, "do not look do not look the other way. Do not hesitate. Recognize that the world is hungry for action, not words. Act with courage and vision." Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kisumu. Enjoy the warmth of our people, the beauty of our landscapes, and the vibrancy of our economy. and the love of our people. Thank you. I wish you a successful conference and a happy stay in Kisumu. Feel at home and karibuni Kisumu. Asanteni sana.
Let's give Prof another round of applause. Thank you, Prof, for welcoming us. Let me recognize also the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Eric Ruto. Asante sana. And the organizers of this wonderful event, led by the Chairman, Jaffo Lende, and the team of brilliant Nyanza professionals that we have been introduced to us here, and really all our partners who have made this event a success. We're going to go into the next session, which is the session on the blue economy. And many speakers ahead of me have spoken to one very distinct advantage that we have as a region, which is the blessing of having a part of the second largest freshwater lake in the world, and that is Lake Victoria. And that is why we are going to dive deep into discussions on the blue economy. And
well, those are pictures coming to us from the Nyanza International Investment Conference that is happening in Kisumu. Our team there, Edward Kabasa, Wycliffe Okech, are on the ground, and they shall be covering that event. It has begun, and tomorrow is the main day. And of course, a lot of conversations happening there around how to ensure that the Nyanza region is making the most of the resources in the area, including what the governor there, Wanga, just spoke about in terms of Lake Victoria and a blue economy, how to ensure that they are tapping those resources to benefit the county and the counties there in that region, as well as the people there. Remember that the blue economy is a very integral part of Kenya's economy, and the government is being very intentional in terms of looking to invest in the blue economy sector and create jobs and open up new jobs. That is the Nyanza International Investment Conference happening in Kisumu County. And as we continue to fix that, remember that in Garissa County, there is the affordable housing project that is set to be the foundation is set to be laid a little bit later. President William Ruto is already on the ground. He shall be doing that in a little bit, but the last time we checked, he was speaking to the residents of that particular county. And earlier on, our very own Abdiaziz Hashim had spoken to the CS in charge of lands, housing and public works, that is Alice Wahome, and one of the things she mentioned is that the government is very intentional to ensure that the marginalized community, the historically marginalized communities, receive development just like any other part of the country. And the affordable housing project is one of those developmental projects that are being taken to the marginalized in this country. Another thing she mentioned is that part of the housing projects there include the establishment of 2 hostels that have the capacity of carrying 1,000, or rather have 1,200 units each. One of those hostels will be in Garissa University, and the other will be at the Garissa National Polytechnic, which she says now that it has been upgraded to national status, it's at the caliber of a university, so that means they need more hostel space. And of course, that is one story that we are following up on for you. This is BizCheck. Remember that a little bit later we shall be bringing you stories from the counties on Kurunzi Mashinani, but as we fix that particular link, that is where we leave it this morning. My name is Betty Kiptum, and Lucy Maura has been my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourself a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.